Hey everyone, welcome to the weeabooze. I'm Kyle, and it is just me tonight. As some of you may have noticed, episodes 35 and 36 were sort of riddled with various audio issues, and I'm willing to bet that those of you who noticed the audio issues didn't really care too much, but it bothered me. I'm still learning how to really work with audio, so after I spend all week coming up with a topic, and I'm so excited to record, and then we have technical difficulties, it's pretty disheartening. So I wanted to make this up to you guys by giving you a short bonus episode. If you're a patron, you got the first unscripted version of this episode, but I decided to re-record it because I'm still trying to learn the best audio configuration for this setup. In the future, if I ever do another bonus episode like this, I think I'd like for it to be a bit more contemplative or analytical, whereas this episode should be pretty quick and casual. A few months ago, I came across a post that really stood out to me titled 5 Books That Have Had a Profound Effect on Me as an Adult. Not top 5, not the most profound effect on me, just 5 books. So, not only was the overall approach to this list personally appealing, mainly due to my aversion of ranked lists, but I also thought the idea itself would be somewhat beneficial to certain people in the anime community. As we grow older, we're told, and we notice this ourselves, that a significant amount of anime is for a younger audience. We sometimes question if anime will ever make us feel the same way it used to make us feel when we were kids. I mean, we know what anime is capable of. We've seen Monster, and Your Lie in April, and Madoka, but we find ourselves watching something like Love Live, and we can't help but question our faith in the medium. There are a lot of anime that deal with themes regarding youth and adolescence, but there are just as many anime that provide insight on adulthood or the perception of various aspects of adult life. It's sort of a strangely specific and personal way to categorize something, but here are 5 anime that have had a profound effect on me as an adult. First is Genshiken. Genshiken is an anime with one of the most realistic depictions of otaku culture and lifestyle. But what really separates it from similar club anime is the fact that it primarily takes place in a college setting with older characters. To a certain degree, Genshiken is essentially a slice-of-life anime. We have our main character, Kanji, who's entering college and decides to join an anime club with a very elaborate name, something like the Society for Studying Modern Visual Culture. And from then on out, the show is completely about the interactions between each of the characters within the club, their relationship to anime, and how their interest in anime impacts their day-to-day life. It may not sound incredibly unique based off that brief synopsis, but as the show progresses and some of the characters approach graduation, the anime delves into a very poignant topic regarding something we all have to deal with eventually, which is balancing being a working adult and having sort of a childish interest. In reality, it's rare for our career path to align with our hobby. In most anime, the main character would go on to be a successful anime director. Genshiken, on the other hand, is somewhat more grounded and demonstrates the idea that we can express our interest in our hobbies in many different ways. And of course, that there's no such thing as outgrowing anime. Next is Tatami Galaxy. Tatami Galaxy is one of my absolute favorite anime. Our nameless protagonist is continually questioning if he fully lived out his college years to the best of his ability. And because of this regret, at the end of each episode, time resets. We see what his life would be like if he chose a different path or joined a different club. Tatami Galaxy covers all the questions you would ever ask yourself in college. Who am I? Where do I belong? Am I on the right path? Why can't my brain and the cowboy personification of my dick ever agree? The show is all about making decisions and discovering personal values. Its dialogue is incredibly fast, and it has Masaki Yuasa's unique art style. It's episodic, which some people are turned off by, but that's not to say it doesn't have an extremely surprising and satisfying payoff. Tatami Galaxy presents some very literal adult themes and gets into some pretty deep psychological elements while also maintaining consistently and legitimately good humor. Next is Uchu Kyodai. Uchu Kyodai, or Space Brothers, has a lot of relevant and relatable content regarding the fact that you are never too old to choose a different direction in life or to follow your dreams, as cheesy as that sounds. However, more so than being an anime that has a solid message for older audiences, Space Brothers is mostly an anime that reassured me anime can still be for older audiences. Space Brothers is simply a good, wholehearted, 99-episode series about two brothers who shared a dream of becoming astronauts. Years pass and the younger brother is on his way to becoming an astronaut while the main character, the older brother Muta, is fired from his job at a car company for headbutting his boss. It's still crazy to me that a non-shonen or sci-fi 99-episode anime is out there. Shonens are intentionally long because there are several segmented smaller stories or arcs that make up the overarching plot. And while there are technically arcs in Space Brothers, it just feels like one single continuous, ever-expanding story. Space Brothers is an anime that is almost entirely devoid of tropes. It's really something in and of itself. Like, it didn't need to be an anime. It could have easily been live action, which is why there is a live action movie. But it's funny, when that quality comes up, the quality that it didn't have to be an anime, makes that story feel so much more oriented towards adults. Next is Shirobako. Shirobako, being fairly new, is an anime that has been receiving a lot of attention this past year. As a huge anime fan, I find myself becoming more and more intrigued by the deceptively mysterious anime industry. I feel like this is a pretty natural progression for anyone who has been watching anime for long enough. After seeing so much anime, we're bound to be curious about the people who created the shows we love so much. That's not to say Shirobako isn't appealing to young anime fans as well, but Shirobako's main audience is definitely directed at people like the main character, Aoi, who grew up with anime and is now discovering the intricacies and the hard truths behind how anime is made, which is what Shirobako is about, if I haven't mentioned that already. Shirobako is an anime about the anime industry. A group of high school girls vow to make an anime together, but then we flash forward to them, and while they're all in the industry, they're all more or less spread out among different fields. Shirobako is by far the best anime that has ever come out that not only gives us a realistic depiction of the process a studio goes through when making an anime, but also has a lot of insightful comments on the industry itself. Now, I was initially going to talk about Hyugemono for my final recommendation, because it goes into the philosophy behind aesthetics and the meaning of beauty. And those concepts are very personally relevant to me as an adult. I work in the field of aesthetics, but I felt like that wouldn't be relevant to most people in regards to this list. So instead, I think I'll talk about Silver Spoon. Silver Spoon was created by Arakawa Hiromu, the lady behind FMA. Silver Spoon is nothing like FMA, don't rush over to it if that's what you're looking for. The anime is about a boy named Hachikin, who, even though he could probably get into any school he wanted, decided to go to a farming school simply to get away from his family. He's thrown into a world full of hardworking and passionate kids who have their life maybe forcibly laid out ahead of them. So, as he justifiably whines about his own difficulties of not quite knowing what to do, he's witnessing the lives of his friends and how they may not even have a say in their own future. Life is all about being able to adapt and grow according to your surroundings, and Silver Spoon is great at teaching these lessons. Unlike anime that deal with youth and adolescence, Silver Spoon does a fantastic job at sort of blending maturity with youth. Regardless of our age, all of our struggles, as different as they may be, are equally important. We, as people, are all simply striving to find our place in the world and make something of ourselves. So I think that about wraps it up. Like I said, this was a short, quick, casual episode. And hopefully in the future, I start getting a better grasp on how to properly work with audio, because we've been having all those difficulties lately. If you liked short, casual episodes like this, let me know. Hunter and I have been considering maybe possibly doing some more special stuff for you guys aside from our weekly podcast. So thank you all for listening, and I will see you next week.